All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the sound of Debbie Murphy Brown. She's live in the studio here, and just in case those folks that are joining us on Facebook, because on Facebook we're getting new contraptions so they can hear what we're playing. They can't hear the music on there. But I want to tell you, she's fabulous. She was the American Idol of her generation, ladies and gentlemen. The American Idol of her. She played with Billy May, Johnny Long, Pee Wee Hunt. She played at the Pierre for 10 years. You were friends with and played with Frank Sinatra, Rosemary Clooney, Joan Crawford, Dick Van Dyke, Tony Bennett, Four Aces, Crew Cuts, Four Lads, Paul Anka. She lives in Vero Beach, Florida. You can see her every Friday night at CJ Cannon's. You worked with Rudy Valley? What?
Someone just sent that to me. I got that 2 days ago in the mail. Yes,
somebody sent this to you.
See?
Look at that, folks.
Rudy
Look at that.
Valley.
Rudy.
Your time is my time, and our time is...
My time is your time. My time is your time.
Unbelievable.
Anyways, with Billy May, he stayed out there with Frank Sinatra, and it came a time when I left the band and went with Johnny Long. Johnny Long had a hit song called Shanty in Old Shanty Town, and as someone just sent me a bulletin from Dallas, Texas. This was a big...
People keep this stuff, you know?
I know, I just received that, but it's a whole program, you know.
Shanty in Old Shanty Town was really a big hit.
Big hit. Shanty in Old Shanty Town was huge.
Do you have any videos? Did you get to keep the acetate when you were on the Ted Mack Amateur Hour? What were you on?
So many things.
What was the big show you were on?
I was on a lot of TV.
Billy played banjo on it.
I don't know.
Come on, the guy you were friends with, the biggest big shot. He had a TV show where talent came out.
Arthur Godfrey.
Arthur Godfrey,
right.
Yeah, you were friends with him.
Oh, my God.
And actually, your husband was his PR guy.
His PR guy, right. He had the office next door. Anyway, here we are with Johnny Long, the Maxwells, Debbie Brown, and the three sons. Remember them? Twilight Time and Peg of My Heart, and so forth and so on. But so this is a whole program, of course. I just took out the one page. But working with Rudy Valley, that was fun, and that's a load of stories working with him. Oh, he loved me because I come from New England, and he's a New Englander.
Yeah.
You know, he sings the main song and all of that. You know.
Now somebody has called in on the phone, and Mr. B. I hope it's pertinent to what we're talking about. But go ahead, put them on, Mr. B. Hello, this is Rhett. How are you?
Hey, Rhett, MJ.
How you doing, MJ? You're listening to the show?
Okay, let me know your key and we'll do it.
That's how he makes a living. MJ sings at all these places. Like, what's the place there across from the Ocean Grill? Mulligan's?
You know my latest venue?
What's that?
I'm playing at the Ocean Grill Thursday evening.
Oh, come on.
I'm serious.
Sure.
The epitome of my career.
Well, that's wonderful that you're playing there. You're going to play over in the bar area? Is that where you're going to be?
Yeah, it's, you know, when you walk in the last door there to the bar area, that little step up with 5 or 6 tables on.
Yeah, I like that area.
I'm back in the corner there, and I'm doing
quite
a bit of that, you know, the old-time music that the classics. I mean, I love it too, you know.
Sure. How did you talk Charlie Raplogle into doing that? Or is it his son that hired you?
You know, I used to play at the El Toro when he had the patio there for a while. And I've just been talking to Charlie for quite a while.
Yeah, worked out for you. That's great. That's great.
But just every once in a while I'd say, hey, you know,
Well,
they gave it a shot and it's been going very well. And
I'll have to stop out and see you. Well, listen, come by on Friday nights and you can see Debbie at CJ Cannon's, but we got some music we got to play of hers, but thanks for tuning in and calling in, MJ.
Hey, buddy, my pleasure, and I'm looking forward to seeing Miss Murphy at CJ Cannon's. I know I play till 7 o'clock at Mulligan's on Fridays, but I'll shoot out there
afterwards.
To catch her.
All right, wonderful, MJ. Thank you. All right, so you had another song you were going to play, Mr. B. You had something set up. What is that?
Johnny Long also had another hit called "We'll Build a Bungalow." Remember
we'll
build a bungalow big enough for two.
Build a bungalow big enough
for two.
So
he has that. I'm on a lot of songs.
Okay, we'll build a bungalow big enough for two. We'll make love neath the red, white, and blue. Wow. So, do you have
It's
that,
a
Mr.
fun
B?
song.
Okay, it's one song. All right. Well, anyway,
fun
this
song.
is fun. Oh, fun song.
Fun song.
Fun song.
He also worked with Ella Fitzgerald. Do you know the song "I'm Confessing That I Love You"?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Ella's singing that. Well, that's Johnny Long's band too.
Okay. We're having too much of a long span of
Anyway,
no music
he
here.
was also in the movie "Hit the Ice." Remember that with Bud Abbott and Lou Costello and Sonia Hennig? You will love that.
Oh, boy.
And also Beauty and the Beast. That's Johnny Long on that movie too.
What do you
And,
mean, The Beauty and the Beast?
Beauty and the Beast was a movie. There's a new one out, but the old movie.
Oh, there was one then?
And that was Johnny Long.
Who starred in it?
I don't know. I don't remember. It's too
Oh.
too long ago.
Could we please have some music?
The band would play, and then they would put down their instruments and they would sing. This was the Johnny Long hook, if you call it. This was the thing that made him different than other bands. And they had megaphones. They'd pick up the megaphones. They're going to pick them up now. Here they
Okay,
go.
listen.
Here it comes.
Put it up.
I can't help the quality of this record.
Then I come in after this. D-I-M-E time. E-E-S-T-S.
Is that you? Can you turn that up a little bit, please?
Okay, Rhett, mics are off. This is all the way up. This is the way it was recorded. I'm sorry, I can't go any higher.
We have volumes. All right, then turn my headset up just a hair. Not much, just a little teeny tiny hair.
M-I-N-E might not be D-H-I-N-E. You love you all the D-I-M-E time you want to be the best of all the R-E-S-T-S and D-I-M-E time. L-I-R-K lock up in the P-A-R-K park. We put K-I-S-S kiss you in the D-A-R-K dark is like a K-I-S-S kiss to my S-S space N-L-L-O-V in love you all the D-I-M-E time. Rack 'em up, stack 'em up sometime.
Okay, let's. All right. There you have it, ladies. Can I please have some voice here? Hi. There you go. That's Debbie Murphy Brown.
That's toe tapping, man. I tell you, I wish you had a shanty, an old shanty town.
He's got shanty. He's got
Does he have it?
Yeah, he's got
Well,
That is the best.
Really?
Oh,
What is that? What tell?
Oh, it's great. Please play it.
Oh, does he know what to play?
Yes, he has it.
What's
He
it
has
called?
Shanty and Old
Shanty
Shanty
and Old
Town.
Shanty Town. It's
Okay.
number
Do you
one
have it
on that.
ready, old Shanty Town, or we got to wait 3 minutes till we find it and get it in and get it going, or what? 1, 2 minutes or seconds?
I'll tell you, this is humdinger.
Yeah, really? You
Oh,
like
yeah.
it? Well, you guys like the stuff. This is your.
No, everybody like it.
These guys are smiling, folks. They are so happy.
tumble down Jack and it's built way back about 25 feet from the railroad track. Lingers on my mind most all the time, keeps calling me back to my little old shack.
Yes, it's Haile Selassie. If I were king, wouldn't mean a thing.
Put my boots on tall, read the writing on the wall,
and it wouldn't mean a thing, not a doggone thing.
There's the queen waiting there in the rocking chair, blowing her stock on a gator's bear, looking all around and strutting on down. Gotta get back to Shanty.
All right. Now listen. Okay.
Was that good as advertised?
That's wonderful and it's great, but we need to have stories here.
Okay.
Because there's younger people like me listening
Well,
who don't know these
Did you like
stories.
that song?
Thoroughly. It's great. That's called what?
Shanty and Old
Shanty and Old
Shantytown.
Shantytown. When the Irish came over, the Shanty and Old Shantytown.
Yeah.
Because some of these things need explanation. So
But Johnny, as a child, grew up in the Carolinas. This very southern gentleman, and they lived on a farm, and he was. His mother told him to go out and feed the hogs, and he was studying to be a concert violinist. Went out on the farm to feed the hogs, and as he fed the hogs, the hog bit him on the hand, and he had a hand that was like that, one hand, but it was enough to hold the bow. And as gentle and as kind as this man was,
and he played what? Violin?
Violin. He learned to
Wow.
play left-handed because he could hold the
my.
bow
Oh, my
with the hand.
goodness.
I thought he was such a giant of a
Determination.
man.
Now,
Determination.
who was this? What's his name?
Johnny
Johnny
Long.
Long.
And he was the
Johnny Long.
big orchestra leader.
Well, some people
And he
come
was
over the
just
greatest
wonderful.
obstacles. You know, people don't realize, like, there seems to be a consistent thread of very successful people I've interviewed over these 20-odd years. And that is,
Adversity teaches.
I say we only grow in the valley. Now, is that a saying? Because I've been working on a book now, and it's called We Only Grow in the Valleys. It took me years, 60 years of living to realize, duh. And everybody wants to complain like, oh, we just get everything straight and everything good. No, folks, it ain't ever going to happen because if you're getting fat and happy, nothing happens. It's in the valleys that we grow. And I guess that's God's plan, isn't it?
I guess it is.
Because we
He's
got a
done-
lot of valleys.
I've had a lot of valleys, but I've had a lot of highs. I'll tell you, fabulous. Now, I'd like to go on to Pee Wee Hunt.
Okay, what about him?
Pee Wee Hunt had a Dixie song called 12th Street Rag, which he can play for you because he has it.
Yes,
And
okay.
most of the songs that I did with him, I did not record with him. They were all what they call low-down blues. Things like...
Excuse me.
funny song. Anyway, oh, you're so ugly, you're some ugly child. You're bow-legged, fat, and lousy too. There's a curse on your family, and it fell on you. Oh, you're so ugly, you're some ugly child. They taught me songs like that. Anyway, Pee Wee Hunt, 16 weeks, was on the hit parade, on the top 10. Very good song. And he has it, so he can play that. But it is
Now, how did you get to be the American Idol of your generation up there? in
Well,
the
a lot
90s?
of it was I won through votes and all kinds of contests that I entered, all kinds of prizes, including Queen of the United States Coast Guard Academy Football Queen, which led to a load of publicity, a load. And then I was the Virginia Apple Festival Queen, and that was another load of publicity. And one publicity brings you to another, something else, you know. And none of these things that I actually go out for, but I got them, and it wasn't that nice. But I have to tell you this story with Pee Wee Hunt because I love it. Two things happened. I was called from the big bands to go up to New York, which several times it was to possibly go with the United States Air Force band. And so I come up to New York, I go to GIC in New York City, and there's all these military men there, and they tell me how great it would be to be in the military. And it sounded pretty good. I was ready to sign a contract until they told me I had to do basic training. And
Oh, you're kidding.
No, and that scared me to death because all I'd ever seen was basic training in the movies. And I thought, oh dear, I don't think I could crawl on my elbows through a tunnel or anything like that. You know? So I didn't go, you know. But they also did USO tours, and I did several USO tours. And this was one I did with Pee Wee Hunt, USO tour, up to Thule Air Force Base, which is the closest
Greenland.
to the Greenland, the closest to the North Pole that you can get, right? So we're up there in Greenland, closest to the North Pole during the Cold War with Russia,
Right.
all right? So what we would do, they would put us. This is at Thule Air Force Base at one of the officers' clubs. You know, we would do the officers' clubs.
Oh, this is you?
Yes, and the enlisted. Wasn't I thin and beautiful?
Oh my word! What a cutie!
Skinny as a.
I'd like to ask her out on a date. Hey guys, she's available now. You know, Billy's off the earth now, so she's available. She'll be out at CJ Cannon on Friday nights from 5 o'clock until 8:45. But this is—I should hold this up to the camera here. Let's hold this up to the camera so the people on Facebook can see that. Look at her, svelte baby. Look at that baby there. See that blonde lady in the middle? I hope you can see it on Facebook. But anyway.
Anyway, this was a Dixieland group, so it was it was about a 7-piece band, and it was absolutely great. But what we would do, once we had done all the officers' clubs and military clubs and all the things up there, we would get into military planes with no seats in them, and we would fly towards Russia. That was what we would do. And that if you would look down below, you'd see, just the ocean, and then you would see a little white berg, a little white iceberg, and on that iceberg was one or two of our guys. Now, this is not the time like today when you can call home from Afghanistan. This was wire to wire. That's all they had, wire to wire communication. We could not land on those icebergs because they were just icebergs. So we would circle the iceberg, and I would talk to the fellas because they hadn't talked to a girl in a long time. And then the band would play, I would sing, and we would entertain them from the sky.
Come on.
I'm telling you, circling.
Now, this all needs to be made into a movie. Hollywood needs to know this stuff.
Right. Then
Can you imagine that? Spielberg would love that scene.
Then we would run, fly to the next berg. We'd maybe do 3 bergs in one day.
Especially if it's a berg.
And
Spielberg?
Right. Iceberg.
Anyway, let's hear this song.
Isn't that
fun? Who is this going to be?
Pee Wee Hunt.
12th
Street Rag.
What's it called?
12th Street Rag.
Okay, play it, Mr. B. Running low on time. How much time do we have, Mr. B? Just a couple more minutes here, right? So I want to thank Debbie for coming in today.
Thank you for calling me. I appreciate it.
We're a little disjointed, a little disorganized, but what I want to do is I want you to get together with Mr. B, plan the whole thing out, and then we'll come in and we'll record a keeper where you can introduce these songs. We could call Debbie's Hour. You could do it without. You could even do it without me. You could tell your stories.
Right.
You have a little radio thing there. Okay. So the 3 bands you played with: Billy May, Johnny Long, Pee Wee Hunt,
and
you
others.
played at the Pierre for 10
Hal
years.
McIntyre.
Now, so we got a little bit of time. 1 minute to break. Okay, we got 1 minute to break. Now, when you got sick, what was the ailment you had?
Tuberculosis.
When you went into the hospital, I understand that somebody paid your rent, and you found that it was your friend because you were not having a relationship with Frank Sinatra.
No,
he was a friend.
A friend.
He paid the rent for a year.
Most of a year. I had a girlfriend
and then an electric piano shows up in the hospital.
That was
and
great.
You never know who gave that to you. And the suspect is that, of course, it was Frank Sinatra. I've heard all these stories about what a giving person he was. And you used to have private dinners with him and your little clan.
Yes.
What kind of a guy was he?
He was a terrific man, and he's done so many wonderful things, like so many people who get, that you hear the bad stories. He did so many nice things for so many people.
All right, now we have to take a break, folks, but we'll have Debbie back in the future. You can catch her live and in person every Friday night from 5 o'clock until about 9 o'clock at CJ Cannon's out at the airport. Mr. Walsh, thanks for coming in today.
Always a pleasure.
Great to see you. Today's broadcast brought to you by Mercedes-Benz of Fort Pierce. You'll get a great deal. Mention the mayor of the airwaves. Okay, folks? All right. We'll take a little break and we'll be back. Who loves you, baby?
Your Indian River County Habitat for Humanity Restore is always a hub of activity, especially with their new building addition. But it takes teamwork to bring...
Shanny and old Shanny's house.
What'd you say, Mr. B?
And I love your story.
You'd be surprised.
I know, the lady's coming in. The other guest.
Oh, I mean, it's a...
Facebook is on. Great. Would you check to make sure it's on? Because it's not coming on my Facebook lately, and we got to fix that. But see if it's on.
I don't get it.
See if it's on yours.
Yeah, okay.
How close do you want this?
Yeah. They were having issues with our Facebook, so I don't know if we'll be on or not Facebook, but we'll try.
How much of the show? All of the show?
Not
Part
sure.
Of the show?
It's all right.
So
You're in your open. Stand by.
The majority of our listeners listen on the radio.
colors affecting mood and behavior.
Colors affecting mood and
Mood and
behavior.
behavior.
Colors affecting mood and behavior.
Including business.
Mood and behavior?
Yes. In business, they could draw customers in or keep them out.
Angela Speck. Angela Speck is my guest today, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, Angela Speck?
I'm fine, thank you.
She's an uplifting, fun person to be around, and she's a designer.
Yes.
ASID.
ASID.
Well, that means because anybody, folks, can put a hangout, a shingle. That's I could do that tomorrow, saying I'm a decorator.
Mm-hmm.
But a designer, ASID, has been training under the tutelage.
Well, you have college training, and then every year you have at least 10 hours. So the big difference is that not only can we make a room beautiful, but function well is at the same time.
Now, we're going to talk about some new colors, ladies, that are coming in right now, and also how colors affect moods and behaviors. And they use this in restaurants, they use it in advertising. It's
Yes.
very impressive how different colors can affect us.
It absolutely is. So we can draw people into our businesses, or we can keep them away. So, for example, a few years ago, I went into a financial office, and I really wanted to do business with them. And I walked in, and it was dimly lit, and the colors were deep taupe, and it felt so foreboding that I just wanted out. I didn't want to have anything to do with them. I knew they were reliable. I knew they had integrity, but the colors did not say that. So, yeah, we need to think about how we want to brand
Now,
ourselves.
let me ask you this. You can see, we're on Facebook if you can see us, folks, but this room has Barbara designed this. Now, it has a deep, what is that color up there? That's a blood red, a burgundy, or well, that's not a burgundy.
Not a burgundy, because it doesn't have that deep blue. But now that is a wonderful color. It's a deep red. It's a wonderful color for restaurants because,
Why?
well, reds stimulate our appetite and our.
Just what I don't need.
Yeah, right. That's right. So you don't want red in your dining room at home if you're trying to lose weight. However, restaurants want this beautiful deep red in their restaurant to stimulate our appetite. So it's very subliminal.
Now, is a bright red, a fire engine red valid too, or just a deep red?
Fire engine red also stimulates appetite, but it may be too intense.
Let me ask you this.
It's too intense.
Is it subliminal because we're animals and it represents blood?
It could
the
be.
blood of the beef?
Yeah, the blood of the beef, absolutely. But it's love at the same time. It makes us feel good. It's a passionate color. So all of those things coming together.
Now we have the black. We have what would you call these things that she created?
It's a creamy color in between, so that it lessens the intensity. So this is a very beautiful room. I enjoy being here.
Thank you. And you know, people, I don't know if she ever gets to hear it, but people come in. I had another fellow. He does talk shows all around the country. He says this is the nicest radio studio he's ever been in. Now, we're small. This is not huge. It's very intimate.
Well, it looks bigger because you have stripes of color, and they move the room larger, and they move it to the side, so it looks more open than it is. It's very, very nice. And you have windows that bring in quite a bit of light. So
Yeah,
it
that's
just
unusual.
makes it soothing.
Well, we had
rather
thin
than too
glass here,
intense.
but what I had to do is bring in this. This is like between a $3,000 to $4,000 window, believe it or not, because it's what do you call it, gun-proof. It's Miami-Dade for the hurricane. I mean, that's
yes.
one heck of a. Matter of fact, Palm Coast Development Corporation did that. Palm Coast Shutters. They did a great
Good.
job.
They did. We have very strict requirements here, and
Yeah.
often around the world they use Dade county requirements if they want good, solid hurricane code.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So it's great to have you here, Angela. We hit it right off the get-go the first time you were on the show.
we did.
And we're going to be hearing from you hopefully throughout the year.
Yes.
In season, out of season, because it's fun to learn about the colors that
Right.
affect our lives.
Right.
Now, today we were talking back in the green room before we came on, the green room that isn't really green. I don't know why they call it green rooms. But you were talking about a color that is the big new color.
The big new color, I was a little bit surprised. I use this color in accents, but the big new color is teal. Teal is a combination of, it's a deep blue-green. And it's a wonderful, soothing color. They use it in drapes. We're seeing it more with sofas. I just saw in Architectural Digest and elsewhere that there was a survey, 30,000 individuals responded around the world, and they selected this color. So it's
Really?
exciting.
You wonder what this move is, because you see society move.
Oh, yes.
You know, like back in the 60s, they think that it was just the Beatles and American boys that decided to grow their hair long. Well, this didn't happen just here. This happened in Russia. It happened in Australia. It happened
That's right.
all around the world. It's almost like a breath of change. Recently on the show, I had some folks and some older folks playing that old-timey band music, a big band music. I've always put up with it, thought it was okay. I love In the Mood, but all of a sudden I could just feel it, and I can see young people. This is the circle will come around, and I think it's going to end up being more popular than ever.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Benny
you-
Goodwin, big band. I love big band. Duke Ellington.
Yeah,
Benny Goodwin.
and just like this with this teal.
Right.
Now I'm sure
Yes.
teal was in way back when.
It was. So there are cycles, and sometimes there's a new twist to it. A deeper color of teal. Years ago, I remember it was in the 60s and 70s. Teal was prominent. It was a bit lighter. This is deeper.
Yeah.
So yes, we have colors that come around. So of course, red is always popular. If you want to make me very happy, you can buy me a red Lamborghini.
Oh, red.
And yes, and I'll wear my red leather jacket, But I would get from what I understand, red, especially cars, attracts police officers who are saying, this is a speeder. So I do not have a red car. I do not want to be noticed.
I want a Bentley, and I want to have a white exterior, tan interior, and to be a convertible.
Very nice.
The black folks say it's a drop top.
All right, drop top.
You ever heard of drop top?
I didn't know.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
So Angela Speck, as an ASID interior designer and a stager, and by the way, you also stage homes for
Right.
quick sales
Right.
for people in real estate, or if they have a home for sale, folks. Listen up. So you do the staging.
Right. Well, let's talk about that in terms of color, because color helps us sell a home or not. The last staging project I just had, there was a home on Orchid Island. It had been on the market for over a year, and it was selling price was $1.4 million. No offers.
Which is a fairly inexpensive home up there.
Well, it can be, but no offers. And the realtor asked me to come in. Would I please come in? We spent 2 hours. We looked around. One of the first things we noticed, and she already knew, is that about half the home was painted in adobe red, and the other.
Now, what's adobe red?
Adobe is like a brick red. It's a deep.
Okay, so
brick
half the
color.
home's adobe red,
So,
and what else?
Inside, this is the interior, and the other half was a lime green. Now,
ugh.
so it may be perfect for the people who live there. They love that color. If you love a color, it makes you happy, wonderful. However, it wasn't helping to sell the home. So I did not go beige. You know, the idea is
I thought you would have gone beige.
No, I'll tell you why. Because beige is overdone. You know, so many of us, because it's a default color, we want to be neutral, so we'll make it easy and we'll bring in beige. And I think, oh, there's so many beautiful neutrals. What we did was we used the color simply white. It's a Benmore color. It's a very light yellow, hardly noticeable, and it takes on the colors of the room. So where they had drapes with some green in the family room, it took on some of those colors. It was
so it's a white?
It's an off-white. The off-whites are wonderful colors.
Isn't beige off-white or no?
There is.
Are you talking ivory white or?
Sure, an ivory. Ivory can have more of the yellows and golds, but very hardly a tint of yellow in it.
I'm sure the women listening know right off what you're saying, but forgive me, I'm a male.
No, well, this is good. So, and the other colors I love to use, and Vero uses well, are the grays, like the green grays, the blue grays, very light, hardly noticeable, or down to almost a medium.
Yeah, you mentioned the last time we met, there are in fact Vero Beach, Florida colors that are indigenous to this region for some reason. This isn't necessarily representing outside. This is just
coastal colors, and I'll expand it
beyond.
Coastal colors and refined coastal colors are the light colors. They are the light blues, light greens, light gold, yellows, and they can also have a gray, so you can have gray, blue, and they're very friendly. They bring our environment in. They bring the sky in. So when we're talking about colors today and effect on mood, the blue is very calming. It's serene. It says, it shows integrity. Banks, you know, Chase Bank, Citibank, Capital Banking, that they love to use blues. It says integrity and safety in the sky. Absolutely. And then,
is that why men running for the presidency generally wear blue?
Oh, do they? Blue. Well, it can show that. And then you have, as a matter of fact, there's a bank in town, and their logo is a friendly bank. And when you walk in, to me and others, it feels friendly, because the ceiling is a light blue, the walls are this very light creamy yellow, almost a golden sunshine color.
So it's the color at this bank makes you want to stay and borrow more money.
It does. You feel safe there. You feel that it is friendly. I'll give you the opposite.
Yeah.
There are some banks and businesses that have black carpet tile floors. And think about that. Now, black can be sophisticated, but if you have a carpeting tile that's not so attractive, what does it say? It says, to me, it says, well, we're trying to not show the dirt. But black is also evil. Black is, so they're not doing themselves a service to have black carpeting.
I remember I went into this guy's office in upstate New York, and he ended up owning multiple car dealerships. Was very wealthy, multi-millionaire, but a young guy in his 30s already. And he was this wealthy, but when you walked into his office, it was all this. It was very cold. It was what do you call it? Silver. It looked like silver, not silver. What's the word I'm looking for? It looks like silver, but it's not silver. You know?
Well, it can be a deep gray.
No, I mean the actual metal is in there.
Oh,
it was cold.
Right. Well, you can have chrome.
Chrome. That's the word I'm looking for. Chrome and black.
Mm-hmm.
It was just chrome and black, and I couldn't wait. And there were no windows.
Yes.
He picked an office that was in the middle of the place where I was just like, I got to get out of here.
Right. And I hope that a designer didn't help him, but sometimes we designers don't, we need to think before we act.
I think this
we
was
need
his
to
own.
think about,
I think he designed this.
Yeah.
Maybe he's changed by now.
We need to think about our branding. The clothes we wear says something about our branding. If we wear a worn out T-shirt, that says something about us. It doesn't matter if we're a landscaper or we do car detailing. We need to look professional. And we need to think about the colors that look good on us.
Car detailing, like Al's Auto Restoration?
Yeah, it could be. But when we network with others in town, let's think about wearing a pressed shirt. It could be a white shirt, a light blue shirt.
Well, what does give a person most credibility if they're in sales?
White, light
like
blue.
Like a white shirt with a tie?
Yes, light blue.
Light blue.
Yes.
Nice.
Whereas, let's say pants, well, blue of any color, even the darker blues.
So blues will increase your sales?
Well, they certainly make people feel that they can depend on you, and it's sophisticated. The darker blues, you often see men in dark blue suits or in gray suits. Can also be black, but I think here in Vero it's often a blue or black, or even my husband loves linen. He's going to live next to the cleaners. So
yeah, that's the only thing. You put a linen on it, and you look all wrinkled up so fast.
Well, you do, yes.
So why the popularity of linen?
Well, linen is a cloth that breathes,
Do they use it on a lot of couches and stuff?
They use it in drapes, for example. There's a style of linen that is a mixed blend. Italy, I tend to like Italy. I don't wear very much of it because I don't want to look wrinkled. My mother once said to me, "Daughter, you look very wrinkled," and I says, "Mom, I paid a lot for these wrinkles." So, but Italy is very.
I agree. I don't like to look wrinkled up. Now, let's get back to colors, though.
Yes.
Because you want to talk about colors today.
Right.
And by the way, in case you just tuned in, we're talking with Angela Speck, and she has an interior design business here in Vero Beach, Florida. She's also a stager. You want to sell your home with rapidity, ladies and gentlemen. She can change that. And you did that recently with that home up on Orchid Island?
Yes.
And
So
it's sold.
Well, that one, we talked earlier about another home that sold in 3 weeks. The research shows that we can get 17% greater turnaround. So, for example, even if a person put in $2,000 in staging, and most of my staging aren't even that expensive, but the return is $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. I'm putting in $2,000.
Look at that.
Yeah. So the next thing I want to do.
And that's not an exaggeration, folks.
No, it isn't. It happens all the time. Anyone who watches our programs, HGTV, will see how well it happens. So in this home, our next conversation is let's remove the laminate countertops, because if you're trying to sell a home for $1.4 million, laminate countertops, anything that dates the home that says your home is 1983.
What's a laminate?
The laminate that we had growing up.
So what's in now? Marble?
Marble is granite and quartz are very big.
Because sometimes they're solid?
Solid, they say refinement. I have a sister who's in real estate in Connecticut, and she says she will not put a home on the market even at $150,000 without saying, if you want your home to sell well and quickly, then make the change. Change the laminate to granite quartz.
They also say take a lot of your own furniture out.
Yeah, whatever dates the home.
Yeah.
The home that I was talking about for $1.4 million. By the way, that home that did not get any sales for 1 year reduced their price to $900,000. So they're coming down over $100,000. By putting in $10,000 or less, I think they could have gotten or met the comps in that area.
And this folks, this is not an exaggeration.
No,
because I've seen it happen. It's amazing. You put some new spigots in the kitchen.
Yes.
They look old timey.
Yes.
And you say, well, the next person's going to change it. Doesn't matter even if they're going to pull it out. It's
right.
You've got to be updated.
Yes.
I wonder if it's true about baking a bread or a cake inside so it smells homey.
Well, it doesn't hurt, but they also have sprays and
oils
that you can use.
Well, listen, if you want help for the right colors for your life, Angela Speck is the lady to call. And she has Angela Speck Interior Design here.
Yes.
In Vero Beach, Florida. ASID. I mean, she's totally certified. What's your phone number?
My phone number is 772-770-1438.
Okay, say that again.
772-770-1438.
Great. And Angela, it's always good to see you. And what's nice about Angela is she has an uplifting. You're imbued with enthusiasm, and you exhale that. Sincerely.
Good.
She's got eyes that smile. She's up. And you know what? I want to work with somebody I like. And I like Angela Speck.
All right.
Thanks for coming in. We'll see you again real soon, right?
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
This is the mayor. We got to take a break. We'll be back. It's not over yet.
As the body's largest
There
organ,
you go.
skin
Thank
is
you.
the great
That's
protector.
always
Skin
a
cancer
pleasure.
is the
I
most
think you
common
did
of all
great.
cancers.
And listen, don't
With
forget,
the
he
help
will
of
send
your
you
skin,
that.
regular
Is this
exams
lady the
with
color of
surgery
Sub-Zero?
Yes.
specializing in the
I will
treatment
play
of
her
skin
ad
cancer.
during this
Pressure
segment.
Coast
Good.
Dermatology has
Yeah,
offices in
not only that, but we want to replay this. Well, you and I will talk about it later. I want to replay it again this week or next week. Yep.
Call toll-free
Because it doesn't help me to give you extra, and I want this to work. It'll take time. People are gonna hear you. We're gonna build up an image. It doesn't happen overnight.
Good. Another designer said to me she heard and she liked what and that's nice coming from another designer.
Great.
So
You'd be shocked
I
who listens to the show.
will get back to you about August date. It will be toward the beginning of the month. All right.
That'll be, yeah, let's see. Yeah, I probably will be. Just call me. I know I may go away at the very end of July just for a week or so, but I'll be back. And then towards the end of August, I'm gone again.
Yes,
Thank
so
God.
I know.
Oh, where are you going to go?
Italy. So talk
You know what you need
about
to do?
linen.
You need to take pictures.
Oh, my husband has a blog.
A blog?
A blog.
On Italy?
On Italy. It's
No.
phenomenal. He has 32,000 photos.
But does he write too?
He is doing more writing and he's getting
Maybe we
he
could
gets attention all
we
over
could
the
put a
world.
little segment in the magazine or something.
Oh, it would be
People
great.
like to travel. Okay, we got to clean this up real quick because
All
other
right.
guys will get mad at us. The sheriff is here.
Whoa.
Is it any of these yours?
No,
Okay.
I don't think. All right. Here, let me-
Mine, these are my good glasses.
Get all my
This is the
paraphernalia out of
newspaper,
here.
this goes here. Okay.
All right. Good.
And that.
This
This
is
takes that.
yours. Thank you. See you.
We're good to go.
I'd like to take a moment to introduce myself to you. My name is James Redman, and I represent Rhett's live radio show and Vera's Voice magazine. If you want to do more than just advertise, let us know.
When I go to press this camera won't come on for me on Facebook.
Yep, I'm working on it right
And
now.
that's my favorite camera.
Yep, I'm working on it right now.
How you doing otherwise?
Good, how about you?
Working for a living and
7322. So please all make
doing stuff? So you're all in your outfit today with your gun and everything. You're not going to shoot us or anything, are you?
No, I hadn't planned on it. I hope you'll act right today.
How's that? How's that beautiful boy of yours?
He's good.
Good.
Well, this is just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to let you focus in on that.
Okay.
Thank you for
Okay, no problem.
Well, nice to see you, ladies. Yeah, I'm all right.
a nice trip up north with your
Okay, this is what the cat looks like.
I saw it on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah,
All right,
yeah, I
okay.
saw it.
Maybe you could tell a couple of your guys if they're cruising around that development.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this lady, the first is going to be just a phone-in, right?
The first is going to be the fun, and then I'm going to bring those two ladies in.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep. Where are you going to have them? Here and here? Let me know if you get that.
Okay.
It might be creating glassware, or it might be doing drapes, or it might be hardware that you love to work in tile. There's always something, and everybody is so glad you're here.
I'd like to see your artwork because I paint every day and write poetry every day.
Appliances, tools, and daily for profit support Habitat for Humanity, Indian River County, and
I'd like to see your stuff.